We are live.
Postcard.
Oh, it's in a
Public. Budget here. 5:30 p.m.
Keep Gordon. Nope, Keep Gordon.
I'm here.
Thanks, Louis.
Yep.
Michelle Kelly. Here. Jamie Wilson. Here. Sean Dukendorf.
Here.
James Cartwright.
Here.
Riley Ordway. Here.
If you want to do the pledge now or do it later.
I'm supposed to do it after we open the record.
Okay. Yeah, you be my Vanna.
All right. So welcome tonight to everyone and those online for the Genesee Valley budget hearing for the 26-27 school year. So as we were making the budget this year, we wanted to make sure that we were keeping certain budget goals at the forefront of our work. This includes maximizing opportunities for students. We wanted to do all that we could to maintain current staffing levels because that has been something that the district hasn't been able to do for a couple budget years. We also have to make sure, as always, that we're in compliance with the parameters of the New York State maximum allowable tax cap levy. We wanted to make sure that what we did for next year's budget was really going to support professional development and learning, not just for our teaching staff, but for our support staff, including our aides, but also those other departments of the district that are so important for us to function, our food services, our transportation, custodial maintenance, because we couldn't do what we do without those other departments to support. And we want to make sure that we're providing a foundation for future budgets, right? Like, I think sometimes we look at the current budget and we think about only those numbers. But our goal is also looking 5 years out to make sure that the district has sustainability because we don't want to put ourselves into a financial situation that could be detrimental to the programs that we offer. So some of the strategies that we used this year was to maintain focus on those goals and state requirements that I just highlighted. Assess all our current staffing and programs and assess our current professional development. And one of our goals is to make sure that for all of those areas that we start creating 5-year plans so that we see where we want to go with staffing or programs or professional development, not just for now, but also just like the budget for sustainability for the future. In developing the budget, we also took into consideration the positions where we have retirements this year. So we have an administration retirement, we have a receptionist retirement, a teacher aide, a custodian, and an administrative assistant. So those retirements actually hit many of the departments in the district, not just teaching staff. Was this me too? Okay. So some of the things that are included in the budget. So we always have to start with our contractual increases. So these include salaries and benefits. We are part of a healthcare consortium that's run through CA BOCES. So all of the school districts in CA BOCES are part of this healthcare consortium. And we have already been told that next year health insurance is going to increase by 8%. If you remember, I think 2 or 3 years ago, we had a 20% jump. 8% is still very high, but it's better than 20. One of the things that we really wanted to do next year is also add a first grade teacher. We've seen an increase in enrollment in our younger grade levels, including kindergarten. We have 3 kindergarten teachers this year, so this will allow us to continue to provide really high quality education for that cohort as they move up into first grade, which we all know is foundational for students to learn to read. Couple other considerations we had was we'd like to include another special education teacher in next year's budget, as well as an additional teacher assistant. Currently, we have 38 teacher aides, and next year that would increase to 39. And we're also anticipating placement for a student in a BOCE special ed placement, a 611, which runs upwards of over $100,000 just for one student's placement. So those were some of the major things that we wanted to make sure we were able to work into this year's budget.
Oh, just
Take
one
this
more?
over? Yeah, you take over.
Okay, so also included in the budget, we as you remember, a few years ago, we started tuitioning in kids for special ed services. BOCES is really struggling, placing some kids with from districts around our area. So we are still looking to tuition some of those in. Fortunately, that is not guaranteed revenue, so that is a risk that we take year after year after year. But it does balance our budget as of now. But that is another reason why we carry a little excess fund balance to help in case of emergencies if that revenue does not come in. Debt service, we're in the middle of multiple capital projects. This year we did an $8.8 million ban. So the budget is going to look like it's increasing quite significantly. A lot of that is due to this $800,000 principal and interest payment on this ban. It is offset by building aid coming back from the state. So you'll see our revenue increase as well. We have 2 students attending the medical new visions program. So we always like to highlight that. That's a very competitive program. So it's great for our students who get accepted into that. We are looking to purchase a new school bus. This one will be handicap accessible. We haven't purchased one of those in a very long time. That will be directly offset by our transportation reserve. So that's zero impact to the budget as well. And then out of district tuition, this year we started charging out of district tuition for students at $1,000, and we are looking to increase that to $1,200 per student. So now to get into the financial side of things. So this is what it looks like from the state as of today. It's not a finalized budget at the state level. So this is really the first go at it. So we're hopeful that we're going to get this. We will see once the final numbers come back from the state. So it's really positive. I mean, over the last 10 years since I've started, I've never seen an increase like this for our district anyways. So we are looking at just over an 8% increase in foundation aid. Again, it's really hard to believe. I'm not the most optimistic person, so I'm very hopeful that we will get this. Building aid, you'll see a large increase in that. Again, I just explained that that's due to the ban that we entered into this year. And the state is really pushing UPK funding. So they really want 3- and 4-year-olds these districts to start implementing the program. So they are increasing UPK funding significantly for us. So that helps us out. Fortunately, we already have the classroom set, but they are increasing the per pupil amount that we will get aided back on that. So,
And just as far as pre-K goes, the state has just recently come out with some guidance that's stating within the next couple school years, every school district in New York State is going to have to provide pre-K to any 4-year-old family in their catchment area that wants pre-K. So you have to remember right now our pre-K classes are limited to 18 because that's state guidance. So what that means is if we have 36 kids in September and we have 3 more kids that want pre-K 4, the state is basically saying in the coming years, you're going to have to open another classroom. Whereas now we would just put those students on a waiting list, right? So I'm wondering if part of this increase is preparing districts for the future, because right now we wouldn't have to hire another teacher and take on those added expenses, but that's something that's going to be coming down the line as they try to get more and more kids into those pre-K programs early.
So we are looking to increase the tax levy at 1%. This is well below our cap, and it's just under $32,000. So not a huge increase, but we do like to increase it little by little each year. So here's our estimated revenues just broken out by category. Our general aid, this is coming directly from the state. This includes the foundation aid that I just went over, the UPK funding, as well as the building aid increases. Community schools, that has stayed steady since they've initiated that. So we typically get $100,000 for that, and it's lumped into our building or our foundation aid. BOCES aid, BOCES aid expenditures go up every single year, so we receive the aid back on that. So we're looking for an increase in both BOCES aid. Other revenues, this is down a little bit. This is mainly due to the kids that are being tuitioned in from our special ed into our special ed classes. So we're just not getting the participants that we've had in the past. I mean, districts are starting to open up their own classrooms. So, that's going to be a struggle for us in the upcoming years. And then the reserve transfers, we always allocate a portion of our reserves to help balance our budget. So here are the reserves that we appropriate. Our fund balance. We appropriate $725,000 of our fund balance to balance the budget. Our debt reserve, this was depleted during this current school year, so we do not have that to help offset future debt service payments. Transportation reserve, this is the cost of the bus that I explained. Retirement reserve, we always allocate a portion of our retirement reserve just to help offset the increases in retirement contributions. And then our unemployment reserve, we typically don't touch this, but we've left it in there. It's mainly just in case, people apply for unemployment and we don't have that budgeted. So we are able to use that reserve just in case. And then this is just a visual of where our money comes from. The majority of it comes from the state, and about 15% comes from our local tax levy. And here are expenditures. General support, this is up slightly. This includes some administrators, our maintenance staff, and just the general expenses of the budget. Instruction, that's up just over 400,000. That's mainly contractual increases as well as the new positions that we explained. Transportation, that's down a little bit. So Willie's done a great job managing his transportation budget. He always cuts costs whenever he feels it's appropriate. Employee benefits is up. A lot of this is due to the health insurance, but we try to remain steady by, offsetting other costs. And debt service, that is the large increase due to the $8.8 million ban. Then again, the visual, most of it is instruction with benefits. General support is 14%, debt service 18%, and transportation 4%. So this is just our 3-part budget to budget comparison. It breaks it out by admin, program, and capital. You can see budget to budget increase is 6.45%. That looks like quite a large percentage compared to previous years. But again, a lot of that is due to the debt service. Our admin is decreasing. Again, a lot of that is due to new administration as well as the retiree. Program is up 3.95, not terrible. And then our capital, again, it's debt service. So just budget to budget summary, 6.45% increase and a 1% tax levy increase. So here is the propositions which will be on the ballot. The school bus, this is a little more expensive, but it is the handicap accessible school bus that will be out of the transportation reserve. And then the libraries. So Angelica will be going out for 58,000 and Belmont is just over 68,000 with a combined increase of just under 10,000. And then the Board of Education. So we have 3 open seats with 3 candidates, and that is Jeremy Marsh, Jamie Wilson, and Michelle Kelly. And the vote is 2 weeks from today, and we are just holding the one vote site here at Genesee Valley in the pool vestibule, and that's from noon to 8. Open it up for questions.
Why are we not voting in Angelica as well? It's going to cut down by a lot the number of people in Angelica who vote.
Just want to take that.
Yes, I will. I agree with you, Leslie, and I tried fighting for it. That's what I ran for, but, according to the, election. Or for the Belmont elections, that, this now, they're not gonna support having two different districts, and it was gonna put too much on Pam to figure out who goes where instead of the election board doing it anymore. So Pam doesn't have the time in her schedule to say, okay, these are from Angelica, these are from Belmont to do it, because before the election board, that was part of their job and duty, and now they're refusing to do it. So that's why we had to move it back here.
So next year, you're gonna vote in Angelica?
No, I don't think they'll ever change. Want to send a petition, I'll sign it, but I don't think they will change.
When we did the one vote in the fall, I believe it was for the capital project vote. We did communicate out to the Angelica community, and we sent a bus that we would be willing to transport individuals over if they didn't want to drive, because that was bad weather time. So, and in that vote, we didn't have anyone show up to ride the bus over that we had in Angelica. But if that's something that the Angelica community would like us to offer again, we're more than willing to do that.
I think, I hate to say it, but I think people drive around the park circle and say, oh, damn, we got to vote today. And they stop and vote. They don't have it in their head necessarily. They're not driving by the bus garage or the pool vestibule, so they're not
Yeah.
remembering. So that's why we're gonna have fewer Angelica people. And I think honestly, fewer people care to vote anymore about anything, any of the elections. Is that true? Not you.
What?
Never mind. Go back. That's all. Oh, I do have one more question. You're talking about hiring an additional first grade teacher. I know teachers move around in the elementary. Are we not going to need three? Are we going to need 3 kindergarten teachers? Could one of those move up to first grade? Because you're going to have those changes you're going to have to make as large classes move through the system.
My understanding right now, there's a large pre-K 4 class, so it is kind of.
They're going to need it.
Yeah, and what I did is, I actually went through the last 5 years of enrollment numbers. And we looked at, this was the number of students that were in pre-K 4, and this is how many additional enrollments came in between the end of June and the start of school. And over the last 5 years, it's averaged between 7 and 12. So if we take 36 pre-Kers and we had 12, that's 58. We can't put, I mean, there's a kindergarten teacher. We can't put 28 kids in a kindergarten class. I mean, we could, but it might not be beneficial. So, I mean, I think we're gonna have to pay attention to those fluctuations as the enrollment trends change. And yeah, this year we may have 3 kindergarten and 3 first grade, and next year we need 3 first grade and 3 second grade. But I just think it's important that we just keep looking back at those enrollment numbers and making some really good decisions about what's best for kids. Because at the end of the day, every decision we make should be foundational to what is best for our students. So that's really how we've tried to approach the budget bill this year.
Thank you.
Other questions? Yep, go ahead.
Do you think we're gonna lose numbers of students with the increase in other district costs? Or do you think they're willing to pay that?
Can't foresee the future, but I personally don't feel that we will be. We had a couple conflicts with putting the tuition in, and the parents realized what kind of education they were receiving from Genesee Valley compared to other school districts, and so they never added line. So I don't imagine that we will. I mean, that's my own personal.
This is gonna sound stupid. Do you take payment plans or are they required to pay for it all at once?
That's Aaron can answer that for you.
Yeah, so this year we did do payment plans. I think we split it up with 3 payments. And we are looking to continue that going forward, so it's not all.
And last year, part of it, Nancy, too, was the fact that the decision to do the tuition came after I started as superintendent, so like the end of July, beginning of August, and it just wasn't feasible to have that expectation, right? So the fee last year was $1,000, so we did 250, 250, and then 500. So the plan is to also do that, and it was nice that we changed the policy to allow the board to make that determination in January, so that families would have plenty of time and knowledge about what those fees were gonna be, so.
Do out of district staff, do their children that they bring here have to pay the tuition? Is that something that you would entertain? I know they have in the past talked about it.
Currently, no, we don't, any staff member feels that's a benefit to many of our teachers and staff. We haven't gone that route.
Just the pre-K in question, not that we charge, it's just whether or not they can come. Because we have to accept the district ones, we're capped at the 18 for our funding, but that could change. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, K through 12, we allow staff's kids to attend.
That's the hard part because of that cap, like Erin is saying. If we're at 36 students and all of a sudden a family moves in with a pre-K student, we actually have to ask the staff member to remove their child from program because we're required to offer it to an in-district family. That's rough. Yeah, for a 4-year-old to see, why can't I go to school anymore? So we've tried to really balance that and make good decisions about enrollment in pre-K so that we don't run into those situations.
I see you have the New Visions program, and it's been wonderful. That's provided many medical providers coming back to Allegheny County. Does that cost the district? How much per student?
It's just over 17,000 per student.
Wow.
We pay for each student that also goes to the BOCE CTE program. I believe this year we had 53 students that go, and average is just a little over $10,000 per student. So the New Visions is significantly more than the just the general CTE programs at BOCES.
Does BOCES offer a pre-engineering program?
I don't know.
My grandson's doing it up in kindergarten through
There is,
RIT.
they do. There is some sort of engineering.
It says they do. Yeah, because each BOCES will offer different programs. Like the culinary program that's here is not offered at the BOCES Center in Ellicottville. It's only offered here and only in. So each center will have different programs and they can choose those, but Mrs. Donlin said they do offer the pre-engineering.
One of our seniors is in it.
Thank
Me
you.
again. So that I had marked in my thing that the occupational special schools, so it includes tuition at BOCES and summer school, is going up almost $100,000. That, am I reading this wrong?
For BOCES expenditures.
It says occupational special schools and underneath it says includes occupational tuition at BOCES and summer school. That's all it says.
Yeah, I mean, with the way they charge per student, they base it on a 3-year average. So we have continually increased our participation in BOCES. So our 3-year average has gone up significantly over the past 5 years. I think from last budget to this next year's budget, it's going up over $100,000.
That's good for the kids.
It is, yeah.
The thing to also kind of understand about the BOCES budget, and Erin can correct anything I say wrong. BOCES it's like, they're called COSERs, which stands for Cooperative Services. Some COSERs are optional, but many COSERs are mandatory for districts, whether or not you're using services or not. And then they have the additional fees on top of them. So just like Erin was showing that our expenses are increasing each year, certain percentages, so are the BOCES. And that's up to all of our districts in BOCES to absorb those costs. So anything that's increased at BOCES just filters down to us at the district.
Now, at the last budget, you cut out some of the vocational programs that were housed here at Genesee Valley. Have we seen an increase in student dropouts since those programs were lost?
No.
I can attest that everyone that was in that program that was able to graduate has graduated. They stayed in school.
Good.
So that was a benefit of it. We left a couple on the table because we cut it. It would have been nice if we could have kept for them to get their second year and they didn't get it. And two boys especially were very hurt and sad. And they were doing much better wanting to be here because of the program. So losing it was really tough, even if for just two kids, it was really tough to see.
Questions?
Thank you, Aaron and Paige. Can I get a motion to adjourn the? What's the motion?
I'll second.
Second. Favor?
Aye.
All right, now I'd like to call the regular meeting. Did the roll call, so does it all stand for leave?
United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
So there's no scheduled guest for the board tonight. I'll open it up if anybody needs to address the board. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the revised agenda? Any questions, comments, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Presentations to the board. Dave Hagstrom from Angelica, you're first.
First, okay. Thank you. I do have handouts and I don't have enough. I wasn't expecting the green shirt gang here tonight. So start these wherever you want it. You guys, maybe?
Thank
Okay. There aren't enough for everybody.
We'll share.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, we're going to share.
Thanks.
All right, we set? All right, thank you. I'm David Hagstrom, the president of the Board of Trustees of the Angelica Free Library. And I'm just going to read through this quickly. Board of Trustees of the Angelica Free Library met January 13 and adopted an operating budget for 2026 of $67,000. The amount is an increase of $4,000 over the final budget figure for the previous year. The spending plan includes a property tax levy of $58,000, an increase of $1,000 from 2025. And then, as we all know, the annual Genesee Valley School District ballot in May will include the library tax levy proposition. So some budget numbers, allocations include for books and other materials, 4,100, wages and employee benefits, 38,420, janitorial service and supplies, 1,800, utilities, 3,000, library supplies, 900, building insurance, 2,300, building maintenance, 4,000, security, 460, programs, 2,000, equipment, 600, technical services, 5,500, accounting services, 3,480, and miscellaneous and contingency, $400. And then this is the following information is from the 2025 annual report of the Angelica Free Library. Library visits, total annual attendance, 3,512. This compares to 3,439 in 2024. Live program sessions, 47 compared to 61 the previous year. Live program attendees, 384 compared to 369. And the physical item circulation, 5,989 compared to 6,452 the previous year. Under accessibility project, just completed within the last week, is installation of a new automatic door opener at the library's handicap entrance. And the total cost of this project was $11,500, and grant funding received through the 2025 New York State Public Library Construction Aid Program was $8,625. Free art for youth. This summer, creativity takes center stage once again as the 2026 Free Art for Youth program returns to Allegheny County, sponsored by the Angelica Free Library. Throughout July and August, this county-wide initiative offers a rich lineup of free art classes designed to inspire young artists, building skills and bringing communities together. The season begins with a kickoff celebration at the Lavender Festival in Park Circle, Angelica, on Saturday, July 4th. Project is made possible with funds from the statewide Community Re-Grants Program through the New York State Council on the Arts, with support from the Office of the Governor and the state legislature. And finally, Angelica's Front Porch. The fall of 2025 marked the 125th anniversary of the construction of the Angelica Free Library building. A front porch celebration of this notable milestone took place on Saturday, October 18, when friends gathered for a commemorative photo. The event also included by Don Berger and the Song Kitchen Sidekicks, remarks by Village Mayor Robert Claypool, cider and Al Hall's famous wine cakes, and lawn games for the kids. And I hope you can skip right through my typos in that paragraph. So that's the Angelica Free Library, and back to the actual number that makes the difference. We're asking for a tax levy increase of $1,000, and that's just because everything is more expensive. We're in the land of, $4 ice cream cones. So that's it. Any questions?
Thank you, Dave.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Belmont Library. Erica Moses.
Okay, I don't have nearly as many handouts as you did, but I can pass it up. So that I can actually read numbers. And I don't have anything as eloquently put together either. I apologize. This is my first year meeting in front of you guys. I took over at Belmont in February of last year. Kind of part-time. I was running 2 libraries up until June when I left my other library and took over at Belmont full-time. So in 2025, we had 474 registered borrowers. Just over 2,200 patrons came to the library. Checked out almost 2,700 books. 46 programs were held with 414 people in attendance. And that was just mostly the summer reading and the last half of the year, because again, I wasn't there full time until June. We had over 2,000 electronic items checked out. So that's if anybody uses Libby. And we had 1,671 patrons that used our Wi-Fi. We reached out to a place called Josh's Frogs, and they donated a bunch of materials to us to introduce our newest library resident, which is Fettuccine. He is the cutest little corn snake ever. It has gotten teens into our building because they know at Tuesday night, right around 5 o'clock, Fettuccine is going to get his mouse, and they love watching it. Was he out the day you came to visit?
You offered to feed him for me, but okay. I will survive.
I will get you to like him, I promise.
You keep saying.
We also, for the first time ever, were able to offer STEM kits and Wonder Books. If you don't know what a Wonder Book is, there is a built-in speaker that reads the story as the child can turn the page and see the words in the book as well. So it's helping to increase fluency and literacy. To the numbers that matter. We are asking for an $8,905 increase. It works out to be roughly $7 for the year on properties that are of $100,000 assessment value. We've pretty much everything has gone up across the board. 5 years ago, we could purchase a book for $20. Now they're 30. So I did I gave you our full budget if anybody wants to look over that or has any questions for that. I don't want to sit here and bore you and go line by line unless you want me to. No? Awesome. Thank you.
What was it again last year? Yeah.
Last year we had asked for 59,364. This year we're asking for 68,269. It's an increase of 8905.
Questions, comments? Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. And I have to sneak out because I have to get my kids.
On your own.
You're my ride. Oh, and to all of the teachers, you guys are my hero. I love you all so much. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. I know it's rough. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
This is my time to present. All right, someone announcing vote information. The annual budget vote and election for educational members will be held on Tuesday, May 19th, 2026 from 8 p.m. There will be one election site at the Genesee Valley School Pool Vestibule for the Angelica and Belmont District residents. Residents will vote the following propositions: 2026 to 2027. School budget, the purchase of a 1 to 60 passenger school bus with the ability to carry 2 wheelchair chairs. Use of transportation reserve funds will and increase support both Angelica and town libraries. Residents will also vote on 3 Board of Education members. Positions have been filled by Jeremy Marsh, Jamie Wilson, and Michelle Kelly. All ballots will be tallied after the polls close at 8 p.m. And new for this year, we will be using electronic voting machines supplied by the Allegheny County Board. Minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the April 21st, 2026 meeting? On the motion.
I'll second.
Thanks for the second. Anybody find any questions, comments, or concerns on that? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Administrative data reports.
Didn't do it. This is what the. I do just didn't click. VA is cool. I think this is news for part of the board meeting. I would be doing something.
Nope, oh, 77. Sorry.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Everyone should bring a teacher with technology knowledge. So the May board presentation I found this cute little picture of the bear at a picnic table, said I was told there was gonna be a picnic. Well, there's not a picnic on Friday, but there's a chicken barbecue. So, the chicken barbecue will be Friday. Miss Wilson in the, district office created a beautiful Canva flyer that I will send out to you all when I get a chance. And I was told that it is always the superintendent's job to make the baked beans. So I will be leaving work on Thursday and going home to make some smoked beans. That's what happened. So, because it is National Teacher Appreciation Week. And one way here at GB that we do appreciate our teachers is each year we do a lovely chicken barbecue. So it's Friday. I can't wait to eat chicken barbecue. The next thing I wanted to share with you is the class of 2024 had funds remaining after their students graduated. And they have decided to, through BOCES, at the print shop, they're able to do what's called like wraps. And this is the design that we chose this morning for the windows and the doors down in the pool vestibule. So this entire design was created by the class advisors of the class of 2024 and BOCES. And it is of no cost to the district because it's coming from that class fund. So I think it's gonna look really nice. Spruce up down there a little bit. So I just wanted to show that picture to everyone because we just decided on the design this morning. We are at that time of year where we're having a number of community forums. So we had a community forum last week where I presented on looking forward to the 26-27 school year. Some of the things that were highlighted, and these presentations will all be put on the website once I narrate the PowerPoint, so the information is shared out well. But a couple things for next school year is we are moving to the regional bell schedule aligned with most of the other schools in Allegheny County. We're also going to have a bell schedule at the elementary school. Many of you might not know we don't have a common bell schedule at the elementary school. We're also going to be offering recess during lunch next year for elementary school students, 15 to 20-minute recess each day when they're having lunch. Breakfast will be in the cafeteria next year for all students grades K to 4. A major change next year is all students 7 through 12 will be using lockers. We are going to begin to limit the use of backpacks and the carrying of bags. If any of you want to know how much weight a student carries every day, lift up a 9th grader or an 11th grader's backpack. We are going to have lots of people needing chiropractors when they get older. They're carrying upwards of 50, 60 pounds on their backs, and it's just not necessary. And as many of you know, school safety is a really big thing for me, and it's just not safe for kids to be carrying those bags. There are tripping hazards in classrooms, lots of things. So, oh, I'm sorry, my slide is wrong. I made a mistake. So May 5th, which was today, was the community forum on the Title I, our Title I program here at GB, which will also be put up on the website. We did a survey of all families in the district to provide their input on Title I, and we received over 130 surveys back, which was really great. So that data will inform what we do with our Title I programming moving forward. And then on May 18th is the GBCS Safety Forum. So each year, as part of New York State regulatory guidance, we are required to have a safety forum to discuss our safety plan. And I've developed a safety survey that Mr. Babbitt and Ms. Massioni is going to be putting out on Parent Square and the website tomorrow. And we'll be able to get input from the community on the safety of our school. And then we'll have the safety forum on the 18th. The public plan will be on the website by Friday because we're supposed to have our public plan out for 30-day public comment before the board vote. And the board usually adopts that at the June meeting. So I wanted to make sure that we were in compliance with all of those things. So far this year, we have given the board a lot of data on our school year overview, our APPR, which is our evaluation and assessment data. We've done a lot with marking period, attendance and discipline data, PBIS data, and then given the board multiple updates each season regarding student participation in club and sports. So we wanted to close out our professional data tonight with information from Miss Roberts on professional development conferences and summer learning opportunities.
Yes, so this winter we did conclude 2 book studies. We worked on the Writing Revolution, 2 seminars that we attended with Dr. Kennard. It was very well attended. And we got a lot of good feedback from that book. It provided multiple writing strategies and approaches for students who struggle with writing. And we also did a book study called Number Talks, and we had 2 sessions for that as well. And just good conversations with teachers, reading the same book and sharing ideas and thoughts and what would work and how we could use some of the recommendations in those books. So it was very well attended. For the 26-27 school year, you can see a list already in the works for additional book studies. We want to offer those for teachers to get their CTLE credits. And so we've increased those offerings for next year. So some good opportunities there. So we concluded our March Professional Staff Development Day. And we always have a full schedule on those days with lots of options for teachers. Some are optional and some are required, depending on their position. And so teachers have lots of opportunities, not only to attend PD, but to also have time to collaborate with each other, to work on instructional work or things that they need to do. We did have a mandated reporter training, which is required by New York State, and that was a follow-up to last year's training. There was an update. And we have our tech liaisons. We have teachers in our building who are experts in technology, and they offer their time as a tech liaison for other teachers to come and meet with them and ask questions that can be specifically tailored to the needs of the persons attending. And so we really appreciate the tech liaisons giving their time to do that. And I know it's helpful for those who attend. I did lead a Teach online help session. Teach is a teacher account that some people needed tutoring in or had questions in or wanted extra help or just simple information. So I led a professional development session on that. We are currently piloting Haggerty for writing. We find some of our students struggling with writing still. So our grades 3 through K-3 teachers are piloting that. And we had an opportunity for an additional training, a question and answer session with our rep from Haggerty. And we hope to make a decision on that by the end of the school year. We also have mentees, new teachers in our building, and we always provide time for them to meet with their mentor. We offered collaboration and planning, project-based learning meetings across grade levels and departments, great opportunities for teachers to get together and collaborate. New York State also requires science investigations. And that's for our science test. We did have our New York State science test for grades 5 and 8 today. Science investigations lead up to the science test. And so we give time to teachers for planning those investigations, scoring them, entering the data into PowerSchool, etc. Teachers have opportunities to revise curriculum maps. We did have special education, self-contained teachers, opportunities to meet with their classroom aides. And we had a special luncheon by Lola Ree's Cafe. It's her first time here for a staff development day, so that was fun. And then we worked with Ann Campbell. Ann and I met on multiple occasions. She helped develop a bunch of wellness activities that occupied the afternoon. And we had lots of offerings, Ramp Health, Preston Fitness. We had pickleball, yoga, diamond art, cooking with Caroline, hiking outdoors, sign making with Anna Slauson, puzzles, board games, all kinds of things for us to be able to practice wellness, because it's also important to find that balance. So it was a busy day, but it was a fun day. We also have had 17 total conferences attended since the last meeting that I presented to you. These are some of those conferences that were attended. Carolyn Wright, Sarah Horn, Brandy Hutchison, Kaylee Graham and Nicole Bagley, Ashley Allman, Sue Ann Lindquist, and Sean Clancy. So you can see just the list of different offerings outside of the building where teachers can go and learn more about their particular topic. or content area.
You know, BOCES offers a lot of professional development for our teachers and we really try to take advantage of that. But it's also really important that we have teachers that are willing to go beyond just our region and be able to collaborate with other teachers from other areas of the state to just expand that learning beyond just CA BOCES. So we're really lucky that the budget is able to support so many teachers attending such great conferences.
So for the summer of 2026, we've increased the number of professional development offerings for teachers to choose from. We kept the traditional math and ELA. We included special education opportunities. So there are 18 separate days in July and August for people to choose from and topics to choose from to be able to attend PD here over the summer. And so that's great. That's great opportunity for everyone to come in. On the opening of our school year, new teacher orientation we have every year. This year, August 24th. Our opening week PD is August 25th and 26th, and our Meet the Teacher Night is August 26th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. And so during that opening week, the 2 days, the 25th and 26th, will be another round of professional development meetings, collaboration for teachers as they come in and get their rooms ready for the first day of school. Any questions?
Things out there somewhere. You can find it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Paul.
So I don't have a question on that presentation, but I did read something in an email, I don't know, a week or two ago about digital learning. And the negative impacts on students and how the board and the school district should start collecting data on number of hours that students are spending on digital learning. Is that something that we will be discussing or putting in play in the future?
Yes. I mean, I've already talked to kindergarten that like, we're not doing the IXL testing or the regular use of that program in kindergarten, because I think they just need to be engaged with other humans, not a digital device. We've also talked about, is it appropriate even in first grade to be doing some of those benchmarking? So I think it's important that we start taking a look at all that. It's just the pendulum swung so far this way. We're gonna need to bring it back a bit. So there are some of those conversations already happening, particularly at the lower grade levels. Okay. Great question. Thanks.
Mentioned a couple names in the room that. Did that do good for you, or did you learn from,
The Rochester one.
what was a positive thing?
Pardon?
It was a positive thing,
Very positive.
and that's, the board's trying to promote as much of that as we can. With staff, and I think we're doing a well job of it, budget, a bit every year for it, so.
So Sue Ann attended the checkpoint D&B for Spanish. And so she was able to get materials that we can use for state testing.
Oh,
So as a collaboration of learning, she got to talk with other districts and, you know, really work that out together and bring back some really good materials for us.
thanks again, Paul. To, board committee reports. Anything for the athletic committee?
No, just that the meeting got changed from June 4th to June 3rd, but we haven't had a meeting since the last reports.
That committee usually meets at the end of each season.
Policy committee meeting is next week. So we've got a good plan in action of prior policies to review, and I don't know if there's any new mandatory ones that we need to consider, but Dr. Kennard's usually good about uploading those ahead of time and needs to take a peek at them. We did just approve 4 or 5 last board meeting. That we,
Almost 9, I think.
okay. Yeah, because some of them were like just a little different than, yeah. So yeah, we'll keep plugging away at that.
The health and wellness is up 7.
Yeah, so, one of the things that, this actually came up in the Health and Wellness Committee meeting that we had a couple months ago, is when I started doing some research into what committees New York State says are mandatory and which ones are optional. And in reviewing it, it really looks like the Health and Safety, or the Health and Wellness Committee and the Safety and Security Committee by New York State guidelines almost have the same goals. So one of the things that we talked about at the Health and Wellness Committee is, instead of those two committees meeting separately, would it be more beneficial to bring those two committees together because of the structure of the goals? So I think that that's something that we could probably look at for next year in the establishment of the board committees, as to whether or not both of those are necessary, or if the work can just be combined and be more efficient.
And I think originally we separated them because we had the wellness director in here when we created the health and wellness, and I think it makes more sense to put them with the safety and security, and be less meetings, and you're still touching the same basis of everything else. So.
Yeah.
We do plan on carrying out the meetings for the end of the year with health and wellness. So
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a reorg. Yeah.
Putting the thought out there for something that we could just be more efficient at.
Financial reports. I think you did a wonderful job, Aaron. Is there any more you want to add to it, or?
I'm working on the 5-year financial plan, so I'm hoping to have something to you guys in June at that meeting. So yeah, other than that.
Thank you. All right, can I get a motion to approve the warrant report? James with the motion,
Second.
Jamie in second. Any questions, comments, concerns with the warrants? All in favor? Opposed? We're on to consent agenda and general action items. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda. Pretty short one.
Second.
Who got it?
JC.
James, second. Any questions, comments, concerns with that? All in favor? Opposed? Motion. Personal action items. I need a motion to approve long-term substitute teacher April Cole, teacher for Julia Kelly. Motion. Thanks for the motion, Michelle, just a second. Any questions, comments, concerns on that? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. I need a motion to rescind the appointment of special educational teacher. I can't find it, wasn't highlighted. Somebody make a motion.
Oh, she got it. I'll take second.
Jamie made a motion. Max, second. Any questions, comments, concerns on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion to appoint advisor for the Genesee Valley Band. Nancy Brown. Motion.
I'll second.
Bill, second. Questions, comments, concerns on that? It was a several minutes.
He resigned last week.
I'm sure resigned. Was there somebody else? There's.
There's a PM also.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask. There is.
Yeah, there's a
two.
PM.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion. Informational and discussion. That to you, Dr. Kennard.
All right, so we already covered a couple of these, but we have a number of upcoming committee meetings that are occurring prior to the end of the school year. So next Thursday is Health and Wellness. The following Monday on May 11th, we have our Policy Review Committee, which Mrs. Kelly has already referenced, that we have a lot of policies that we're still reviewing. Tuesday, May 19th, Safety and Security Committee. And then that day is also the budget vote, and we will have our board meeting that night at 8:30 to accept the results of the budget vote. Then, I can't believe we're saying it, but moving into June, Tuesday, June 2nd, it will be our governance meeting where we review the agenda. The Wednesday, June 3rd, as Mr. Galuli already said, the athletic committee meeting was moved because it was originally on June 4th, but that's the joint management team conference for a lot of us superintendents up in the north towns. So both Dr. Butler and myself will be at that. So we moved that athletic committee meeting. And then June 9th is the last regular board meeting of the year.
I thought we discussed on June 2nd, moving the governing meeting. Didn't we schedule the negotiation?
Oh, yeah, you
4:30.
might be correct.
I think it's at 4, right? But the times just changed.
Yeah, to try to do.
The other thing, and I had communicated this with Buddy earlier today, is we said that tonight would be the night when we would determine the reorg meeting for the board as well as the date for the board retreat. So one of the ideas that I had that I wanted to float by everyone was if we held the reorg meeting on Tuesday, July 14th, because remember this year, the state says that we can have that reorg meeting up to the Monday after the 21st. So we're not limited to just that first week. And then we could do dinner after that board meeting. Because that, and then we could actually start the board retreat for just a couple hours that night. So we could go from like 5:30 to like 8:30. And then on July 28th, which would normally be the July work session, we could actually turn that into the remainder of the board retreat. If we could start that day at like 3, I mean, the time can be, flexible by
What was that date again?
July 28th, Tuesday, the 28th.
I'm
So-
available on the 14th.
You're unavailable on the 14th.
The only day that week I'm unavailable.
Okay. So we can choose a different date, but on the 28th, if we could do like 3 to 6, we could finish out 3 more hours of board retreat. And then we could have dinner. And so it's kind of breaking up the board retreat. I was thinking if that after the reorg meeting, as an admin team, we could present the vision and goals for the 26-27 school year, set the foundation, maybe ask some essential questions that then we could come back to on that second time. So I just wondered what everybody thought about breaking it up into 2 and it not taking a full day and just kind of running it that way this year.
What was the time you wanted to start on the 14th?
Well, the 14th would be the normal board meeting, so we would start at 5:30 and go till about 8:30. But James says he can't do the 14th, so we could pick another day that week. But then on the 28th, if we could start at 3 to 6 and then do dinner afterwards, we could figure out how to make that happen. So then we would basically have a 2-hour board retreat on the first day and then 3 hours on the second day.
As long as we give ourselves enough time to finish it in the 28th, but I like the idea.
Well, I like the idea. The fact is because you always go home and then you have questions that you forgot to ask or bring up. So at least now you can write them down once you're home thinking about things and then.
And you're pairing it with the work session, so then you're not, it's not like having to be extra meetings, so I like that idea.
Phil?
Well, we're gonna go on vacation in July, but I don't know when, so I can try to work. If we know we're gonna do it 2 weeks, that just kind of takes off 2 weeks. But I'll make
All right, we'll throw the date, have Paige, you can throw out the dates, you can change the folder. Dates.
Yeah, because we have to have that by what, the 21st? Reorg meeting has to be met.
So we can even do the 21st and the 28th, like they could be 1 week apart if you want. I was just thinking of way to use the dates we had already kind of talked about for July, splitting it up and getting the work done, but doing it in a more efficient way. So I'll put something out and then what we'll do is we'll vote on those dates at the June meeting. Okay, all right.
Right, I'd like a motion to go into executive session. So the second. It's 35. All in favor?
Hi.
Opposed?
Everybody sign in.
We have a policy meeting in Monday. We have another country.
I'm having another country. No, egg club.
Good night, everyone.
I think I just saw that.
So long. So
But I think it's really good. I'm like, I got- Yeah. I
couldn't see the name.
Good. They're not there.
Oh, yeah, they bring out that.
Perfect.
Good.